Historical overview. Brown's lurid stories were based on a realism of sort, while Land's story came from a newspaper article and Brown frequency. Expert is believed that science would lead to explanation of even the most irrational behavior. In this, he was a product of the Enlightenment culture of his late 18th and early 19th century milieu. A scientific interest provided justification for exciting and morally questionable fictional themes, which he argued to be legitimate contribution to knowledge. He was also imitating the also novelist and social philosopher William Godwin, whose Gothic novel Caleb William explored injustice of class and the British legal system by portraying the present question of servant who learns of his master act of homicide. The Gothic novel was the peak of his popularity at this time, partly as a result of Enlightenment openness to investigation of the new areas of thought and society, including appearance, psychology, and extreme actions. Brown, like Mary Shelley in Frankenstein or James Hook in his Confession of a Justified Sinner, used the fashionable Gothic form to explore facets social, scientific, and sociology issues then coming into focus rather than to investigate the legacies of feudal oppression and nostalgia. This is anticipated to home and the later American writers in this form, setting the agenda that led Leslie Fielder later to observe in Love and Death in the American novel, realistic and negative, sadist and melodramatic, a literature of darkness and the grotesque in a land of light and affirmation. The Pioneer. The first of copper letter-soaking books is The Pioneer, in which Nati Pumbo, also known as Letter-Soaking, the Pathfinder or Hawkeye, makes his appearance in this instant as an old man. About the driven west by the restriction and laws of increased settlement which see him look out for shooting deer out of season. The novel centers around the needs for laws, but also the inadequacy and intrinsic unfairness of the law. In a complex mediation broke out through illustration as in the evident unresponsibility of penalizing Nettie for his modest and necessary shooting, while allowing the settlers. There was the full destruction of entire flight of pigeons by cannon and national of cases. Amount of fish beyond what they called confessibility, it or perceived, but also plot issue reached through the trust placed in him by Oliver Edwards' father, Colonel Edward Effingham, technically the legal heir. Behind this claim, however, is the claim of Chi Kang Hook, the Mohican or Mohican chief, now an old drunk known as Indian John, who eloquently explained how to contested land was taken from the original inhabitation, whether or not Popum was accepted for the land. The validation of the Indian seems irrefutable, and Cooper was unable to address it, instead simply setting the rival template or Effingham claims by the time-worn device of a liaison between Elizabeth Temple and Oliver Effingham. At conclusion, a series resolution that was to appear again at the end of Home novel. And the last conclusion, the end of the 19th century then saw in some respect a return to beginning in appreciation of the romance, with some critics like Harry Levin and Richard Chase have argued dominate 19th century American writing. And the Gothic, which according to Leslie Fiedler was from the beginning the hallmark of this fiction. James' work is proto-modernist in this attention for formal such point of view, conclusion, lucid reflector, and so forth, but retains Roman and Gothic features in its attention to what Horner earlier called the deeper psychology. The literary world was immensely different, with the new focus on immigrant and minority writers. With the movement like Edith Wharton, Kate Coppin, and Charlotte Perkins Gilman prominent among serious novel, the new subject, and in the practice of realism, naturalism, and empirically modernism, new formal treatment, yet the literature of the later 20th century continuously maintained its earlier distinctly new word provenance.